Beloved, we are here. We are here. We are one. All the people I need to thank in one chat. Fantastic. Guys, I love y'all. Vog, Evie, Foos, know some real ones. Get in here. Evie, I was dying at that. How did the live notification go from it's my dog's birthday to this sad one? Well, it did, all right? The duality of man. Very happy to be here with you guys. Wanted to stream yesterday, didn't really make sense. Yo, Sage. I know. How dare I? How dare I represent any shadow of a bankable schedule? I'm trying to switch it up. Guys, I will soon be done with this Long Beach show, within which I play a scathing turd pile of a racist. Like, there is no redemption. I don't know if I've ever felt further removed. And I don't mean that to, like, virtue signal. I more mean where I'm like we did a talk back on Sunday, and somebody in the audience was like, was it hard to say those lines? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, is there an answer other than yes? Like, I'm talking epithets, like, as bad as it can get. They're like, was it hard for you? I'm like, no. No, that's part of my vernacular. It was very easy. What? Okay. I love you guys. Yeah, Evie, I'm in a show called The Double V at the ICT in Long Beach. Beautiful theater. Honestly, beautiful play. But I am the antagonist. This is our last week coming up. We close on Sunday. And after that, I'm looking forward in a big way to finishing the year on my own terms, with my own sketch, etc., etc. Dude, exactly. It was so funny because obviously the majority of the cast is black, and they're all insanely talented, great people. Like, we've had a great time. And we all just kind of shared a look like, yeah. Anyway. Let's not talk about 1942 vernacular, shall we? Let's not talk about it. Let's not do it. You know what I mean? Dude, I completely agree, Evie. I like to think all of the tech issues are out of the way. If you want, look up some reviews. You know, exactly. And I booked it, and the callback scene was nasty, was bad. It was well written, though, and... yeah. And it wouldn't have changed me taking the role, but, like, I did hope that there was going to be some sort of arc, you know, some sort of ownership, perhaps, of, like, you know, but there wasn't. Which is realistic. A lot of people go to their graves holding the same, you know, tight-held, poorly founded beliefs that they have for the past 70 years, you know what I mean? Woo! Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, Vog, exactly. No, it was all funny. I mean, it was really awkward, that first table read, right? Where I kind of wanted to be like, hey, I'm not taking this lightly, and I know none of you know me. So, you know. But then we kind of started having fun with it. They started adding more epithets to, like, book in some insults and to, like, cap some lines and stuff. So I went from, like, 1 to 3 to 5. I mean, it was bad. But then during tech 2 weeks ago, I kind of got my revenge, because anytime an epithet was coming up, I'd be like, well, I'll tell you something, boy. Why don't you go back to where you came from? Because line, you know? And then, yeah, anyway. It was tongue-in-cheek. Like, I didn't expect the stage manager to, like, read out these epithets, but it was a very meta, funny moment for a couple stage actors. Anyway, how are we, guys? Happy Tuesday. I'm counting this as a Monday. Last thing about the play. On Sundays, I have a matinee in Long Beach of Double V, and then I have an evening performance of Peter Pan as Smee. And let me assure you, I don't know if there's two physically further separated theaters in SoCal, nor do I know if there's two more, like, spiritually divested characters other than Charlie Simpson and Smee the Pirate. Oh my gosh. I just somehow get the lines confused. Exactly, Vog, yeah. This is a Monday, but it is a short week, so let's still hold on to that. Let's hold on to that. Okay, let me know if the music is too loud or not loud enough. Oh, guys, last week. My God. So, like, pretty much everyone here is in the Discord, and I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through, uplifting me, sharing your perspective, sharing your expertise and your POV. There's a lot of stuff in tabletop that can be subjective, you know what I mean? And I think a DM's job is, to be a facilitator, to be a creator and a storyteller, to be an administrator. Like, there's obviously many hats. I love you guys right back, Vog. I appreciate that. Yeah, believe me. I also play Nana, so Nana turning racist, like, the world isn't ready for that, We already have enough pain out there. But yeah, man, this Tuesday session sucked. It definitely, I don't want to say, like, broke my heart, but it made me very sad. I was surprised by how sad it made me. I think a lot of that is just the years that I have put into this. And I don't even mean it like, I've put in all this work. I more mean like, what a gift to be able to play with people that you love and to create a story that you care about. And, like, how many campaigns go to level 20, man? How many campaigns, like, get a chance to do that. And it did make me bummed. It meant so much to me to be able to reach out to you guys, because I was like, like, anytime I get really disappointed in myself, those are the only times. Like, disappointed in the flat tire I caught, or all the N-bombs getting added to the text, or the whatever. External stuff washes over me. Obviously, it can stress me out and challenge me. But ever since I was a child, man, like, the sense of being the cause of my own poor results. And it wasn't even like, and I played so many sports, man. I played so hard. Like, it wasn't even that. Like, we lost games. I missed, penalty kicks or whatever. Like, they pissed me off, but, like, my confidence never wavered. You know what I mean? And creatively, as an actor and as an improviser, like, I am very confident. Like, and that confidence is rooted in experience and also, I think, proaction. For me, working on things, trying to get better at things, that inherently is something that, like, armors me in a sense of, like, hey, it might not be perfect, but this wasn't neglected. I cared about this. I gave it my attention. I watered the soil. Mapro, get in here, boy. I love you too, man. Thank you so much for your kind words, truly. It meant a lot to me. And just to sort of frame this, and I don't mean this to, like, bum everybody out, but this is real. On Saturday, I ended up speaking with one of the players that had, definitely, like, the strongest, reaction, and in my opinion, kind of, like, crossed the line a bit in terms of table etiquette, and just respect, you know what I mean? But they reached out to me on Friday, which I really appreciated, because the game was Tuesday, and I was kind of boiling Wednesday, Thursday. Like, I was like, whew. I reached out to you guys Thursday and appreciated that so much. It helped me to kind of take the lid off some of that pressure. But I was so glad they reached out to me, man, because I was upset. And in my head, I was like, truly, like, because I wanted to text them that next day or Thursday and be like, hey, that was over the line, blah, blah, blah. But in my head and heart, I was like, man, let's wait until Friday evening. And if you're sitting backstage, about to go on as Charlie the Simpson, then send that text with love and grace. But send that text, because then I could put my phone down and I would be, like, kind of angry and a little bit anxious, and I could use that for the show. But they reached out to me and were like, hey, man, can we talk about Tuesday? And I was like, man, thank you so much. Like, I love you to pieces. And I do. And, I was really disappointed in how it shook out. I know I could have done a better job. And I would love to talk to you about it. And so ended up talking on Saturday. And, you know, it didn't go poorly. It did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to go like a lot more. I thought there was going to be a little bit more of a direct apology, and I thought there was going to be a fair amount more ownership, and I thought that was going to be the thrust of the conversation. It's worth noting that this individual is, you know, like older than I am, older than probably most of us are, and not that they're like, oh, you know, whatever. I more just mean generationally how they were raised. You know, I was raised in a household, for better or for worse, and I think it truly is sometimes for worse, where like when my brothers and I fought, like my mom would like bring us physically together, like apologize. You know what I mean? And if it couldn't be done, then I'll see you in 30 minutes and we'll try it again. But like the I apologize aspect, or I would like your forgiveness aspect, is like kind of overweighted in my world. And so that didn't really happen. But within about 5-6 minutes, after sort of a little bit of talking around the thing, and I'll get to the chat in a second, guys. I love y'all. I appreciate it. After a couple of minutes of you know, sort of just shooting the breeze, we sort of dove into it. And this player was like, you know, I let them kind of do most of the talking, especially on the top. And they were like, you know, man, I was thinking about it. Like, why did this bother me? You know, he was like, you know, I know that reskinning stuff and, you know, scene painting is part of the game and I really enjoy it and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And they said, you know, I realized that this, after I digested it, that this, my frustration had something to do with some other rulings over the campaign. And some of them were like 2+ years ago. And so they kind of started like filling me in on like, you know, there was a ruling where we were kind of in game and they wanted to take a 3rd feat. And in my mind it was a 4th feat, but I might have gotten this wrong. They wanted to take, I'm not sure, like Fey Touched, or they wanted to take, you know, Magic Initiate because they wanted to be able to cast Misty Step and have more movement speed on the battlefield and stuff. Dude, exactly, Vogue, exactly. Which kind of rocked me when I was like, oh shit, like that was 2022? Fuck. Okay, go on. And maybe it wasn't 2 years ago, maybe it was last year, it was a long time ago. And then they kind of went on, and there was like another thing from a combat, you know, probably very end of last year. And we talked about it a little bit. Like, they basically were like, those rulings kind of felt arbitrary to me. That was the language they used. And I sort of explained to him, I was like, you know, man, like, I totally get that. Like, I explained my thought at the feat process. Like, 3 feats to me sort of seemed excessive. It also hadn't really been run by me. So in that moment, it seemed like you were kind of just like grabbing a feat to solve an in-game problem. But then lastly, there had been other characters that had taken feats that just didn't seem narratively supported. And this felt along that same way. It felt kind of just like trying to kind of min-max, which is okay. But then the last factor with the feat aspect was that about 6 months before they wanted to add this other feat, I had given everyone a free feat, like for Christmas or for Valentine's Day or something. I just did it as a gift. And so it kind of felt like, well, damn, like y'all just got a feat. And now you're like tacking on another one. And there was a lot of feats that were not narratively supported at all. They were just like, you know, just buffing themselves, which is fine. But I said no in that moment, and it bothered them. And this is the last thing I'm going to say before I kind of summarize this, and then we move into what's next and what I want to use today doing. Is that, and dude, this, yeah. So that went on, and we were kind of talking about it, and then it went on to something else from combat. And in my head, I'm kind of like, damn, we're on minute like 10 or 15 of you kind of expressing your held grudges for rulings that are pretty historic, and in my opinion, like straightforward. In none of these circumstances was I contradicting a previous ruling or going back on something, you know. But they said this. They were like, and then, you know, Like when combat was going on, and they pushed back hard on the Finger of Death thing. They were like, so you're saying that if we killed Trent and cast Finger of Death on him, he would come back as himself? And I'm like, well, he wouldn't come back as himself, but yes, I think he would have a third or half of some of his statistics, yes. Disagreement. And I sort of was like, look, man, we might disagree on this. Like, you know, I don't think that this is, I think you're making it too big of a deal. Like, we're talking about going from 38 hit points to like 64. From a +3 attack to a +5. From 1d6 +2 to 2d6 +3. Like, you know, like it's a level 18 battle. But then they said this. And it was at this point, I'm like parking in Long Beach. I'm about to go into the theater. You know what I mean? Like I kind of needed to like disconnect. And I also found myself like that plume of sadness was sort of rising where I was like, oh shit. Like I didn't think this was how it was going to go. But I really didn't want to make it worse. And I think it really, really is important in life, and certainly as like a leader or a DM. You know, when you ask for something or feedback, you need to handle it and take it, even if it's poorly laid out, and even if the timing isn't right. Like, you need to be able to be the one that can facilitate that. But they were like, before we went into that final chamber, this chamber that I have up on the owlbear, you know, they had gone through this space right here, right? And, sorry, here we go. And they'd gotten to the very end of this thing, and they had found this, you know, sigil marking this archway over the top of yet another tunneled entrance. It was the same spell save DC of 19 to spot it. They had previously come across a near identical one at the bottom of this chamber, and it had been a symbol spell that had fucked them up. So now they again go through a crypt with a ton of baddies and skeletons and shit like that. They get to the end of this thing. They cast Locate Object. They know that the Lich is ahead of them down this tunnel. And they spot the rune work of the symbol spell for the second time. They did absolutely nothing. They just walked through it and got blasted by that symbol of spell loss. And that was what this dude had an issue with. He basically was like, you know, for you to take like the cleric's 9th level spell, like that's just not fun, man. Like that's just not fun. And I was really taken aback by that because, you know, we did that prep session that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And not only did I have fun during the prep sesh, but I thought that was fun as hell. Now, like, does anybody want to lose a 9th level spell slot? Fuck no. But if you guys remember, I was between death and spell loss. And death felt very aggressive. Spell loss felt unique. It felt very true to how a lich would operate, especially in their lair. And, like, I didn't say this to him, but, like, any DM worth their salt, in my opinion, you got to make a battle in a lich's lair the most frustrating. I mean, you need to make it legal and mechanically correct. But that shit should be hard. A lich's lair, my boy? Like, what? Yeah, that's trouble, man. Like, what else would it be? And so he was like, you're telling me that you think that would be fun? And I kind of was like, I completely agree, Sage. And I almost brought that up. Yeah, it really pissed me off. At that moment, I wish the book was next to me, but I'm reading The Wise Heart by Jack Kornfield. It's the same vein of book as the one that I read a meditation from long ago. But it talks about, in Buddhism, the sacred pause and kind of taking that moment before reacting to hopefully respond. And thank the gods I was able to do it. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to jump the music. Damn it. I love this track. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so anyway. So I sort of took a moment and I was like, man, like, I do think that would be fun. Like, I don't think losing, you know, hit points is fun, or spell slots, or getting levels of exhaustion, but I do think unique challenges and things that are keeping me on my toes as a player that feel fair and grounded, I do think that's fun. And they kind of pushed back some more, and I sort of was like, man, I got to be honest with you, like, this is not how I thought the conversation was going to go. And they're like, oh. And I was like, but, you know, I hear you. And, like, you know, if even one person at the table isn't having fun, I want to know about it. And I don't think that it's automatically like, oh, we got to change everything, but clearly that's something I got to look at, you know? So I have a lot of thoughts, and to be honest, what killed me was, like, I have been a player in this person's campaigns, and dude, you know, I got turned into a lich off a single fucking roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoop, whoop. So I had to step back, and I'm glad I did. I reached out to every other member in the party and received an enormous amount of support, and that uplifted me. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't know what's fully going on here. I don't feel like this person is giving me enough leeway, and I feel like some of the things that they're upset about are things that they far exceed as a DM. And I think that if they were faced with some of the things that they put in front of me as a player, if they were faced with that as a player, I think they would lose their goddamn mind. But that's it. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, chat, let's get into it. I want to go back. I want to check your stuff. Thank you for dropping thoughts. I know that was like a huge diatribe. But I valued so much you guys getting at me on Discord, man, and like every single one of you I value, you know. You guys are great. You play a lot of TTRPG. You DM a ton of stuff. Sage, I've missed your ass. I hope you're great. I saw you streaming on Sunday, man, and I had 2 shows. I hated not being there. Okay. Yeah, they held on to it for the longest time. Yo, you nailed it, Foos. You nailed it. And like, I'm so glad that you put words to that, because as soon as you said it, or, you know, wrote it, I was like, oh, that's wise. Like, that's probably it. And it did just come to a head. And it seems like that symbol, that spell loss symbol, you know, made them fear. I think they felt like that was arbitrary, like saying no to the additional feat was arbitrary. Completely agree, dude. And I texted with the cleric, and like, he's having a blast. I don't know what button hooked means, Mapro. Unless he's their union rep. That's honestly hilarious, since we're all like actors. It's like, hi, I'm the equity foreman, and I have some complaints. Yeah, exactly. And dude, that Fusca, that really challenged me, because it's like, bro, what do you think I'm doing during these like 2-hour publicly streamed prep sessions? You know what I'm saying? Like, looking for ways to fuck you. Like, it's also like, you know, anybody else run like a 4-year level 18 homebrew? That shit is hard. And I don't mean it like, oh, I just more mean there's not that many monsters at the top of the CR list. There's not that many spells that aren't like save or suck or save or something serious, you know? But it does feel like he's held a lot of gripes, and I hate feeling that way, because like, you know, that sucks. That sucks in life. That sucks in D&D, you know? This guy feels like he's realized he's not the main character and doesn't get his own way all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some of that. Like, I would say that as a player, when things feel unfair or inconsistent, that's a huge flag for me. Like, if I feel like someone else got an easier or harder ruling than I did, then I'm like, ooh. But that feeling of a DM being inconsistent, or kind of if I feel like they're like big time winging it to make it harder, like they're like, actually no, the door doesn't have a keyhole, you know, like, then I'm kind of like, all right, you just want to slow us down or make it hard. I thought about that symbol spell a lot. It seemed like a cool one. It seemed like something a lich would cast, you know. Spell loss would suck for sure, but in a cool RP way that is a direct consequence. I know. Dude, it's not even that they didn't look for it. They found both traps. The first one they walked through and got blasted. The fact they walked through this second one is absurd. Now, it's worth noting, and this is, let me go back to the actual combat, because this was stunning to me. Symbol of spell loss. Intelligence save, or those that are affected that can cast spells, lose their highest level prepared spell slot every 6 seconds. And that continues until 60 levels of spell have been lost, right? But what the cleric did, he failed the intelligence save. He lost his 9th level spell. I described it as almost being like taken out of him. Like, you know, almost like a cast without his will. And as they again were about to fail another intelligence save, he cast anti-magic field with his 8th level spell. So he basically was like, all right, if I'm going to lose my 8th level, I'm going to burn it here, boy. He then blocked the symbol of spell loss with that anti-magic field. And he has then rolled into this combat with this up, right? And you know, and now the monk is like basically moving with him within that 10-foot diameter. So this cleric has rendered this lich like powerless. And this lich wants this boy so bad. He wants this boy so bad, but he can't. And so, like, I didn't bring that up to the player that was complaining, but in my mind, I'm like, dude, was that not one of the most clever plays you've ever seen? When he's about to lose his 8th level, but instead spends it to block further spell loss, and then carries it into a combat where it's like a complete game changer against this 18th level caster? Come on, boy. I think my stream glitched and looped because it went immediately from you telling me to Carpe talking about a book. Wait, what? Damn, Evie, I hate that. Let me know if we're having playback issues here. All right? Also, it is streaming in 1080, yes? Please let me know if you can. Is he a sore player? Yeah, I think so. He's also like, there's just been times where like it's just a little questionable. And like there's so many things, and this is truly like I feel like I DM more than I play, but I think of myself as a player first. I really fucking do. And I truly, and I don't always succeed, but I truly try to design the game from like what would be fun. Now the narrative I want to be fun for me because I'm the one like writing it or whatever, but I don't know. If you're welting into a lich's lair, not dispelling, not investigating, not ensuring, exactly. Dude, it pissed me off so much. I'm like, dispel magic, anyone? Like, you see the same rune work over an archway just like 150 feet ago and you walk through it? Ridiculous. I know. So here's the thing, Sage. A lich's spell save DC is 20. And I lowered it to 19. Because of all the elements in play. And, you know, it's been huge. The fighter made a wisdom save against dominate person that was a 19. The paladin saved against disintegrate with a 19. And they spotted both symbol spells with a 19 exactly. So a great example, DMs, of like those small tweaks, particularly with AC and spell save DC, have an enormous impact. But it fucking killed me, man. Okay. I appreciate that. Hey, cheers, Foos. Cheers. You know, it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, there's probably something else going on. It is what it is. It's tough because, like, he really is a dear friend, and I'm kind of, like, surprised, especially the fact that he DMs and is, like, doesn't have such a higher level of concern for etiquette and execution at the table. Be prepared for the enemy to use, access the same scary spells. Exactly, Mapro. And especially at high levels, like, those spells get intense. Okay. Balls, get in here, boy! Bugle's up for a wild one. That's it. You now labeled a bad DM. You're canceled. Dude, if my wife found out that I was no longer a nerd, she would take Waylon, she would slash the tires on my Fiat 500, and she would leave. Sage, I feel you. Yeah. No, dude, you're the man, Sage, truly. You're the man. I also got an Instagram prompt today that I did not respond to your latest fiery meme. I love those, dude. I appreciate when you message me. And I appreciate you saying that, because you know I value your opinion. You're a great DM. I love kicking it with you. And I will do that. Exactly, man. Exactly. I didn't expect to get the ball like that. You know, agreed, Mapro. And I think ultimately all we have as DMs is like our gut and player feedback. So I think I need to take his with a grain of salt, and I got to move forward. I appreciate that, Vog. Like, consistency is the biggest thing in the world to me. If there's ever doubt in my mind, even in-game decisions, I'll roll for that shit. Late honk. And so, yeah, you know, we'd never had a ruling on Finger of Death. It's not like I was changing that ruling. And I feel like there should have been a lot more leeway afforded, but agreed, Sage. Agreed. Yes, Sage. Yes, exactly. Every single one of them. The cleric, the fighter, everyone that was in the previous session saw that shit, walked through it, and then did it again. It was dope, and it was epic, and it's like, it's the only reason this fight is still going on, man. This Lich has his 9th level spell, which he's either going to use for power word kill. He would love to feeble mind this cleric. Oh, ooh, he would love it. He would love it. But he can't touch this boy right now. It's really insane, man. It's insane. Like, it's insane, the power of the anti-magic field against the Lich. It's very good. That's what I'm saying, Foos. And, Foos, I love how you and Ninner's DM, I feel like you guys both, like, executed at a high level, but your styles are very different, you know? And it's because you're different people, you know, obviously. But whenever I was in the midst of prepping Undertow, that BBEG divination wizard, right? We're in the sewers beneath Neverwinter, this gigantic centrifuge, and it's literally like a level 20 divination wizard that has legendary actions, that can regain, that has layer actions. And during that session, Ninners came through as well. And, you know, that was what I think it was like being one of the best prep sessions we had. Shit was popping off. And y'all gave me the feedback. Many of y'all did. Some version of, you know, like when I trust a DM, even when it's challenging, even when it's hard, to make it out of those circumstances is so satisfying. And that's why I use the same metric each time to prep. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's less hard. But that's why I stick to my guns, man. This Lich can regain 1d8 spell slot or lower as a layer action. It has rolled an 8, a 6, a 4, and a 3. Those are great rolls. It has cast 2 8th level spells. That's a big deal. But I honor the fucking dice, man. You know? But I agree, Foos. That's what I like. I've also been a part of a campaign where, like, we got up to level 13, 14, I don't really know. And at the end of it, the final boss encounter was a cakewalk. I'm telling you, man. I was a moon druid. I didn't sweat. I don't even think I used my wild shape. Like, I just went in there, tossed out some cantrips, we stunned it on them, and it was over. So, that sucks. And, like, this for me, I'm like, y'all didn't try to rest. You blasted through some symbol spells, and what was going to be a hard encounter is now deadly. Here we are. Marco! Bugles up, my boy. The irony is that the Lich has tried flirting with them. I shit you not. It cast, and let me get in some different, I want a little bit more funk. Ooh, that came in real hot. It came in hot as hell. Sorry, let me just check the levels. Let me know if I'm blasting y'all. This is a little hot, huh? This is from the album by Brent Lewis entitled Drum Sex. Yo, babe, flip over the Drum Sex record for me, will ya? Marco, how the fuck are you, dude? Marco. Dude, I haven't seen you since the high seas, my boy. I had a really bad session last Tuesday where a ruling I made on Finger of Death led to the biggest derailment I've ever had in game. It was basically an argument that went on, was put away, and then came back, and it ended poorly. It ended with me being like, all right, guys, I love y'all. I'm sorry it wasn't fun. I'm trying my best, and I'll see you next week. You know, it was very deflating. Oh, god damn it, Matt Brum. No, but dude, the Lich cast dominates person on the fighter and was leading them arm in arm through the lair and was about to dimension door into this kind of, you know, last chamber with this sacred tree that was once a holy spot for Shantea that is now beholden to the blood goddess Bala. And during that period, like, he was like speaking to her almost like someone speaking to someone on the third date, talking about his history, complimenting her. And even whenever she broke that dominate and they chased them inside and they came across this Lich kneeling down at this bloody pool, palming bloody liquid, even then, the Lich stood up and said, I would spare you if you stopped. You need not die with your friends. So I gave him a shot, dog. Could have started a whole new life with this Lich. A whole new world. Okay, 1080, great. Great. Okay, cool. Evie, let me know if something's going down. Exactly, Sage. She's like, the point is, you're going from, like, cool tech nerd to sweaty LAN party basement nerd. And the reality is, babe, I've always been both. Fuck with me. Feedback is always personal, and you need to have at least 3 pieces of consistent feedback to establish truth. Now that, my boy, is something that I have known as an actor for a long time. Long time. I've gotten done with scenes with casting directors who will not be mentioned, Mark, and had them be like, look, man, you're not a comedy guy. You know, this is what you do. You're a romantic lead. You know, you're a young dad. It is what it is. And I'm like, bitch, forgive me for dropping, like, I'm like, bah. I'm not saying, like, I need to be funny to you, or that even I'm being funny now. But comedy is my bread and butter, dude. I'm a 4th-born son of 5 boys. That's the only way I saw the light of day. You know what I mean? So the point is, I read this in The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, which is an incredible read for anyone that sometimes feels stuck in the creative flow. But to treat feedback and critiques, especially those that make us a little bit angry, kind of bump the ego a little bit, can we treat those moments with curiosity? And I did. I really did. And I've thought about it a lot, and I'm kind of like, I think there's more going on. I think that they felt maybe, I think the feet thing did bother them. And I think that every single time they're not able to misty step, or that they're in combat feeling like movement is an issue, the misty step thing comes up again. So here, in this map with 10-foot squares and 30 feet of movement, I think the fighter is like, ugh, I should have had fucking misty step, so I could bonus action misty step 1 time, and then be done with it. Whatever. Yeah, exactly, Foos. There are no easy wins. It's hard to be a good player, and I'm still learning to be one in each game. You're a great player, Vog. Are you kidding me? It's important that players talk it out with their DMs and communicate their feelings. Agreed. And you guys have a great one. You know what I mean? And like that level of trust, I think there is something to be said for me and this player have like a deep friendship. Like I have called this dude weeping. You know what I mean? Like I have borne my soul to this man. you know, like, I'll never forget, like, I mean, yeah. I mean, and I don't mean this as like a metric of like, you know, that this is like the only way that I show that I'm close to people. But like, and I have no problem with crying. Like, I think that's, you know, you got to express emotion, man. Like, I'm an emotional dude, you know. And I've called this guy weeping. You know what I mean? Like, that's the level of trust I have for them. And therefore, I think there is a very high level of trust between both of us that sometimes can lead to a little bit of inconsideration, right? Because there's that much trust that we'll always be able to chop it up and sort it out. But I want to be full of grace and empathy and compassion. You know what I mean? And I got to say this, dude, because I almost said this, and I didn't, and now I just want to, because this is like just a good cross-section into how turned around I was. I had this conversation on Tuesday, right? On Tuesday. I had the game on Tuesday. I had the conversation with the player on Saturday. I'm driving down to Long Beach to do this play. It's not going that well. The conversation isn't, but, you know, but things are calm, and it hasn't been gone worse, which is all I cared about. And I do the play. It's a hard roll, dude. I'm already feeling frustrated. I do the play. I get done. It's about 35, 40 minutes from Long Beach back to LA with no traffic. So it's 9:30, and I'm leaving the theater. And I get in the car, and I'm driving back. And about 20 minutes into the drive, I realize that I have no music on. I have nothing playing at all. And I'm like really stewing, you know? Like, I'm like going over it in my head. I feel like everyone in the campaign hates me and like doesn't want to do the campaign, you know? And it's like kind of like a huge fear realized, where I'm like, oh my God, am I like a toxic DM? Am I like these, you know, nightmare Reddit threads? Like, fuck, I'm like holding up the mirror like, is it me, Lord? Is it I? And I put on a song, which I'll just play right now because I love it. You guys have heard me play this song a lot. I love this song so much. This for me is like a big calming song. And I put this song on and I started, and I'm going to get to the chat, guys. I love it. And then I promise you we're going to move into what's next. But I'm like ruminating and I'm frustrated with how the conversation went with this player. And I'm thinking about like, you know, everything we've talked about, like, you know, they didn't rest. They blew through the symbol spell. I think about how I've used the same metrics for 4 years, man. I think about like how sometimes I will get stoned at night and spend 45 minutes on a foam roller just daydreaming about this campaign. And how I've done that for years. I mean, you know, not always stoned. But I love this story, dude. It's been so fulfilling. And I think there was a sense of like being wounded a bit. The point is, like, I got really emotional. And next thing I knew, Root, how are you, dude? I miss you. You might get this. Next thing I knew, I had driven from Long Beach an hour and a fucking half to Encino. It's like I was like blacked out, dude. It scared me, to be honest. I was like, I called my wife. I was like, I should have been home 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes. And I'm not going to be home for another 30. I blew by our exit. I blew by the valley. I drove to Encino. Like, that's how chopping it up in my own head I was. I hope that communicates the level of angst. Yes, honey, but do we have to wait for you? Screaming ensues. I love it. No, y'all some real ones. Fuzka, how can I get the cheese heart emote? Is that a sub tier? Got my previous job back. Let's go. And got romancy with my character in my last D&D session. Baby boy. Spill the beans, Marco. Come on. I agree. Yeah, Foos, I agree. And I think that's a good lesson in like letting, the importance of communication, and also, the danger of letting things fester. It makes small things feel a lot bigger. You know what I mean? Ooh, Switch has a Shadowrun trilogy on sale for $20. I'm going to look that up. I'm not familiar with Shadowrun. Tabletop RPG, a science fantasy tabletop role-playing game. Is it turn-based? Root? Okay, turn the music up. Let's go. Thank you. That's what I needed. It might be worth speaking with the players individually to alleviate some of those fears. Yeah. So I texted with all of them. And then I texted the thread on Monday being like, hey, guys, because we normally play Tuesday. We're not going to play today, obviously. And I was like, hey, guys, like, Tuesday sucked, Like, I didn't, I'm the steward of the table, and fundamentally, I needed to do a better job of getting us there. And I'm not happy about all the things that happened, but I love you guys, and I love this campaign, and it's meant the world to me. And people basically, and then the player that had taken it over the top apologized, kind of. They were like, yeah, John and I got into an argument. And I was like, bro, is that how we'd frame it? Or did you continue to push back over the course of an hour? And I got upset one time, and then you blew your top. Whatever. So it doesn't matter. Mapro. Story of my life. It's not the right that one person is speaking up on the other player's behalf. Believe me. That to me was like, so you're concerned about his experience? Did you lose any spell slots? Did you do anything to avoid the second trap that you knew was a trap? Fuck out of here. 100% felt that way before. Vogue, exactly. Exactly. It's true. So it's just not me who daydreams about my campaign and tears up. Dude, no, it's not. Balls, listen, I meditate a lot, and sometimes it's just to get through my day. Sometimes it takes me truly to the astral plane. Anyone that's ever done Wim Hof or breath work will know this. Like, you can project, dude. And there will be times where I am deep in the vastness of my own consciousness and expanse. And a cool idea for my D&D campaign will come hurtling out of the void. And that's just because it's a deep-seated passion. You know what I mean? But hell no, dude. It's one of the many things that binds us together. Anyway, it is. Okay, good. Okay, think steampunk D&D, cyberpunk, cool. Shadowrun is bomb. Oh, Mapro, okay, great. Basically, Blade Runner? Yeah, he said we argued. That, it pissed me off a lot. I had to take a lot of, like, that's not what happened, is it? But, doesn't matter, man. Like, to be honest, I'm going to be real, and I'm not trying to virtue signal at all. A lot of this stuff makes me think of Waylon. You know? He's going to be irrational. He's going to hold grudges against me. He's going to bring something up from a year removed. Is there anything other than patience, compassion, and grace that I would like to meet this boy with? You know what I mean? And obviously this player isn't my son, thank God. But, I really try to reframe it through way. Because, like, I can lose my temper, dude. You know? I can be in my ego. Especially when someone is attacking my art, which D&D is. Whew! It's easier for me to get worked up. All right, enough of that. Oh, wait, no, Marco, let's catch up. Picture the scene of a city on fire due to a giant spider dragon. I love it. Oh, bro, this is the romance? I can't wait. My frail glass genasi. Glass genasi? Let's go. Decides to use his genie warlock. Dude. Respect to anyone playing a warlock, period, much less a genie. Decides to use his genie warlock ability to transport some really unstable bombs towards it. And he kisses the big barbarian Orkes after plenty of adventuring together, since stakes are high. And now would be the time to be more confident, if there ever was. Obviously, I'm assuming consent and clearance, but that is hilarious. And I love that. And a glass genasi kissing anybody is hilarious. I'm curious about that as well. Right, Wrath of the Righteous I saw streamed by a guy I follow about a month ago, and it looked really fun, you know? Okay, so here's the deal. I'm partial to PF because I'm a 3X guy, got it. I have Righteous, wait. WOT Righteous? Is that Wheel of Time Righteous? What is that? Oh, Wrath of the Righteous, got it. Yeah, ask out of character far ahead of time for the romancing, cool. Oh, man. To be honest, like, I've never really had, like, an in-game romance. The Paladin in the Tuesday campaign has, like, a boyfriend that's waiting for them in Silvery Moon. But that's the closest I've gotten. And, like, you know, it doesn't need to be all, like, extra necessarily. But I think it's really cool to root that if it makes sense. Like, wouldn't we rather fight for someone we love? Switch has it on sale for $12, Root. That's awesome. Okay. Let's get to it. Ah, shit. Okay, here it is. Okay, guys, give me actually just 2 seconds. Because it's Marley's birthday, and I need to honor the fact that it's his birthday. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Where the hell are you? Cool. How many monkeys in the coconut tree? To tell the truth, I am the monkey. With the island groove to get the beat jumping. Nice and smooth, your feet start to stomping. The island groove to get the beat jumping. To tell the truth, I am the monkey. The island groove to get the beat jumping. To tell the truth, I am the monkey. Nice and smooth, your feet start to stomping. The island groove to get the beat jumping. To tell the truth, I am the monkey. To tell the truth. Hey monkey, where did you go? Hey monkey, nobody knows. How many monkeys in the coconut tree? How many monkeys in the coconut tree? Oh. How many monkeys in the coconut tree? Hey little monkey, grab a coconut for me. Hey monkey, where did you go? Hey monkey, nobody. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Thank you. Wait. Yeah, exactly. The pup gets precedence, guys. And it is Marley's birthday. That's why he's right there with me. Look how cute that boy is. He's 4 years old today, guys. Once they hit 17, be sure to send an army of kobolds that outnumbers the party by a factor of holy times shit. That's hilarious, Root. What a great line. Yeah, they've dealt with like an army of skeletons. But, you know, they have a cleric with them, so it wasn't too big of a deal. Also, guys, just while I have you here, let me ask you something to consider. We're about to move like into the prep in a big way. I bought a new PC, which you guys all know about. There were some hijinks. I bought it from Cobra Type. Very expensive PC. I dropped the specs into the Discord a while back. But there were some software issues and one hardware issue, and I sent it back to them. And they repaired it. They also upgraded the internal cooling system. They did right by me. They sent it back. Whenever I got it back, the back panel was askew, such that I didn't have access to all the USB 3 ports. And for whatever reason, the USB-C port was simply not functioning. So I reached out to them. Honestly, it was such a pain in the butt. There's all this stuff. And I kind of reached out to them being like, look, guys, I spent $3,000. I can no longer return it through Best Buy. I don't feel like I got my money's worth. Like, I've spent 30 hours on this computer, fixing it, talking to you, Zooming with you, sending it back, picking it up from UPS. I would have saved $1,000 building this thing and probably wouldn't have had any of these issues. So is there room for a partial refund? You know, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, how about 500? And it would have taken like 250 really. But they basically were like, no, we can't do that. But what we will do is replace your unit completely with an upgraded unit. And I have about 2 weeks to decide. My other option is I do believe I can go through Best Buy and get a full refund. But then I don't have a computer. And it feels like that time has been wasted. But my concern about getting an upgraded unit from them is like it's already been messed up. You know what I mean? Now, I do think they're professionals, and I do think they're very competent, and I do think they are desperate to get it right. But what happens if they send it to me and then it's like, you know? No, I was never going to build it. But it, yeah, man, so I don't know. I'm kind of a mind to take the upgrade. But it feels risky. You know? Okay. Combat. Yeah. Listen to and believe a business that demonstrates what they are. Ugh, Math Pro, I know. Ugh, I know, you're right. You're right. Like, cause Foos, like, I wanted that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, like, the delivery method. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Maybe I will have to build it. I don't know. I've just put in so much time and I've wasted so much time. I just like I like working with software. I don't really like working with hardware. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do a recap of where everybody's at. Top of the round, layer action. That will be Stefan turn. I think what he has to do, it's tough. It's really, really fucking tough. Liches have 3 options, right? They have roll a d8 and regain that number of spell level or lower. Yo, I'm on! Cute boy alert. Exactly. Yo, once we've recapped, then we need to carpe the Cobra type people by the neck, Marco. Let me carpo your neck! But it will be the layer action. So the Lich can basically send a 10d6 con save towards somebody. That's a ton of damage. He can send another con save that, if failed, tethers that character to the Lich and deals half damage to them, which is nice because the Lich is down to... Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Woo! The Lich is down to 26 hit points. Wow. Cool. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going through my chicken scratch, you know what I mean? Anytime, like, the session notes, like, the combat looks like this, somebody got finger of deathed. You know what I mean? Look out. Root, that's generous of you, man. Amon, that would be amazing, dude. Is it because of a roleplay opportunity, or what's the way? And Matt Pro, I just want to circle back, because both you and Foos are, like, correct. And are speaking both sides of my twisted mind. Because part of me is like, God damn it, I've lost so much time. So, like, you guys should hook me up. You should go over the top and make things right. I wonder if there's any way that I can find a way to like pick it up and not have direct delivery. You know what I mean? But Mapro, you are voicing my exact concern, which is that at no step along the process has it been as it should be. At no point. I've talked to the owner, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know, but I want to get hooked up. But I want a supercomputer for less than I paid. But I already paid so much for, like, I mean, I'm already going for, like, whatever. I think you're right. Foos, I hear you, but I think Mapro's right. Okay, so layer action. I think he's got it. Well, let me show you where everybody is, and then we'll see what we think. Okay. So, top of initiative is Bilbin. And Bilbin, of course, is that kind of like... He's that sort of like, you know... He's the one that had the changeling that was impersonating him. The one that led to this whole mess of a situation down here. And, you know, if I'm sharing the God's honest truth, originally, whenever I was running the metrics and sort of the combat balancing for this here dungeon, and I was getting to this chamber right here, the chamber of Avendasora. At first, I thought I was going to finger a death Bilbin, because mechanically, I thought it made sense. But, as we know, Vexel did not give up the diamond, the dark diamond, that this Lich desperately wanted. The diamond that had been stolen from the Lich by the BBEG divination wizard, and the party had found on the body of the wizard. The Lich wants this more than almost anything in the world. And so he used a round in combat to cast Locate Object after he got that information from Trent. Trent was like, I don't know which one, but one of them's got that diamond. I can guarantee it. So he locates object. He finds that it's Vexel. Vexel doesn't give it to him. Vexel gets dropped. Relentless Endurance brings him back. Vexel gets hit at disadvantage with a legendary action cantrip. Drops him to dead, back to unconscious. Vexel fails a saving throw. I, with a plus 12 insight, said that well, I didn't tell the party this. They might have freaked out. But I played it that the Lich, with a plus 12, a resting insight of 22, and an obsession for this dark diamond, was aware, likely, that Vexel had enough time to maybe fail a death save. So he cast Finger of Death. And that's obviously where the hijinks started, all the pushback from Glorious the Fighter. But what's going to happen is that Vexel is actually going to make his way over to the Lich, because the Lich wants that diamond ASAP. But Bilbin is at the top of the round. He's actually, and this is again where I'm like, guys, can you give me a break? Like, clearly I am fair. You know what I mean? Matt Pro. That's so good. Hey man, my wife won't let me have a cat yet, but you know I'm a cat daddy. Cats love me, dude. Cats love me. I'm not trying to get like, braggadocious here, but let's call it what it is. Cats love me. So I'm glad. You can. P.O. boxes are a thing. I know, but they're shipping from New Hampshire, Root. Like, that's my concern. Like, you know what I mean? Like, can I get ground ship? Like, how can I, Yeah, like, the feral cats of the neighborhood flock to me. Flock to me like the salmon of Capistrano. Now, that's cool if I'm, like, walking solo doing my thing, Bee Gees style. But the majority of the time I'm hitting the block, I got my long-eared son with me, the birthday boy. And Marlo's, he don't play no games with no fucking cats, all right? Oh, my God. Okay, So Bilbin is here. Bilbin went, and I was playing it like he was like, I don't want to die in this here. We got to get out of here. And the party, mainly the character that was complaining his butt off, was like, no, he would attack, Bilbin, no. And being the gracious, benevolent. All right, stream's canceled. Benevolent? Dude, I just want to thank you for being so thoughtful and so benevolent with me. You know I'm afraid of jungle animals. But being the benevolent... Benevolent. I cannot believe that it's giving me so much trouble. 10 benevolent elephants. 10 benevolent elephants. 10 benevolent elephants. Let's go. But being benevolent like I am, I decided to roll a dice for Bilbin. Again, when in doubt, I let the dice decide. It's also worth noting that August 18th was my wife and I's 18th. I'm so out of control today. The 18th was our 6th wedding anniversary. Yeah, exactly, dude. Hard words. So my wife got me this badass iron dice set that, like, honestly are badass. And like all of the numbers look like almost like dragon tails. But of course, these die rolled hot as a pistol. And whenever I rolled for Bilbin, I was going to make the DC 14 or higher. All right, so he basically had a 35% chance of attacking, and he rolled like a 16. So he rolled up, he did 2 attacks, and one of those attacks was a nat 20 from, again, like the level 8 DMPC Bilbin, who's like kind of an afterthought. What have we taken today, Mr. Carpe? Wow, too much concern and too little calories. You know what I mean? Like, I had breakfast at like 7:50, and I'm kind of feeling hungry. In my brain, I think the combination of stress and like just, I haven't streamed it forever, so I've really enjoyed chopping it up. But my brain is working overdrive. You might not be able to tell from the words that I'm using. See, just now I rolled a 16 and an 18. This die rolls hot as hell. And it's because my wife loves me, and she imbued my iron dice with great power. But don't worry, Sage. I'm well on my way. Bang, bang! Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Map Pro, that's amazing. The karmic payback for that will be beautiful and extensive, fear not. Being sweet to the natural world, being sweet to cats, to animals, to plants, you know, picking up a little bit of trash when you see it. The world, the universe rewards that shit. So here's Bilbin. He also rolled a 24 on initiative. Day of his life. He rolled a nat 20 on his initiative and on an attack. And after the fucking lich took him out, he rolled a nat 20 on a death save. So, you know, the party needs to honor the fact that they've gotten very lucky with this NPC. But Bilbin has 2 death saves, 0 death failures. It will be his death save after the lair action. Then we will have Trent. Okay, and this is where things get spicy as hell. In DMs of the chat. Yeah, exactly. I shall return, reborn and renewed, like the dead cats of old. Great. Okay, okay. So that's post. Right. Great. Okay, great. Okay. Sorry. There's a lot of things right now. I just want to make sure I get all of them. Okay, so I'm just going to label this second phase. Because I had a plan, And this is something I came up with a long time ago whenever I was playing Elden Ring a lot. But I had a plan of wanting to go back and make Trent, like, kind of have almost like a cut scene between, like, basically whenever he got beneath 50 hit points, from 260 to hit 50. And I was going to have him be like, you know, literally start to tear off his clothes, like his, like, shirt. But then you realize what he's actually doing is ripping the flesh from his body. And what you see is just like sinew and tendon and bone and deep set eyes and blood and this loose kind of cropped hair and the voice of Trent Puergraf. I'd kill 100 of you, 1,000 to make things right. Nobody, and I mean fucking nobody, walks away from me. And I wanted him to then, in this second phase, gain like a teensy bit of health back, maybe like 20, 30 hit points, and have access to 2 legendary actions. One legendary action would just be he takes the attack action. And that would be limited to 2 attacks, because normally he can take 3. Or for 2 legendary actions, he can do more or less like, I forget what I called it, but imagine like a Dragon Ball Z, like, hyper punch. Yeah, I was calling it Rivers of Blood from Elden Ring. But he unleashes a flurry of blows, the final of which is a stunning strike, plus 12 to hit, 8d6 plus 6, and a con save. But then, you know, this player started, you know, pushing back, and the vibe was completely derailed. And so I kind of hesitated, and I kind of just moved towards ending the fucking thing, you know? But now I'm like, no, dude, you're a great DM. You've done what you need to do. Okay, cool. Okay. These are honestly like badass, and I think they're all badass. You know what I mean? And not that I'm badass. I'll leave that up to you. No. But like, shit, man. I put a lot of thought into Trent. I put a lot of thought into all these things. So it's sort of like, I never finished these, but I was going to use plus 10 for everything. What am I missing? Dex? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've 1 headbutt, higher damage. I love that. Okay, so here's where I'm at. The Trent will be coming up. And, you know, I think I got to do it. Okay, so second phase, Trent. This is kind of where I'll begin. This will all be, all of this right here, everything right here, is post-combat. Okay? So this will be like what I use after the fact with combat. I think instead of writing... an intro today, because I will also have next Monday to prep because we're not playing this week. But what I want to do is make sure that we have a feel. God damn it, y'all. Sorry. For what to do narratively in the event of everyone dying. Calder, Glorious, Sweet Pea, Valner, Halstead. Who am I missing? Slight. And then we'll need to write Vexels. Shit. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it. I'm gonna check that in a second, balls. I kind of love it whenever I get to a session and I basically have to just like reuse the freaking all the notes because like we barely progressed. Obviously sometimes that can be a bad session, but like it's just because they're in the thick of it, man. And obviously one player didn't like it or whatever, but I do think it was a really good combat. So wait. Okay, yeah, I got it. This is me kind of recapping it. And I do this, and this is like me being OCD, but like, I don't know if I'm going to go back and turn this into a book. You know what I mean? So I kind of like to be able to read through it a little bit narratively. Also, what this allows is for me to be like, you know, this is sesh 153 now. And I'll just keep most of the stuff that I already had and needed. Ball appears, calls for a champion. Trent steps forward. Steps forward, wishing to pass the mantle. Combat ensues. So this is very important to me to not forget, because it's going to begin with Trent's turn. So I have got a perfect time to sort of showcase the fact that they are kind of moving into this second phase a little bit. You know what I mean? Okay. You need a game change up, all the drama on and off the table, heavy on the soul. When they leave her, have Bilbin take everyone to dinner at a fancy fantasy restaurant where all the waiters are Kanokos. I like that. Thank you, Balls. That's fair. I don't want there to be any concern here. Okay, I'm going to do it at the end of the person that got hits next turn. Why is this not selecting this? I think that's a good note. Stun is really hard. I agree. I know. Believe me, dude, I didn't even say this, Sage. This was so funny. Like, this player is really pushing it. Like, there's been pushback. Like, we kind of settled it. Then they basically got mad because they didn't drop the Finger of Death character with about 35 points of damage. And that's when they were like, okay, what the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. It's not the spell. Well, that's fine. No, it's fine, but it's not the spell. I mean, it's not the spell. You know, it just got super passive aggressive. And it really went poorly, right? Like, and even then I was like, okay, well, like, we're going to finish this round of combat. So it was that person's turn, Gloris, and then it was Hallstatt's turn because because Hallstatt is at the end of initiative, and he had Dominate Person cast on him because the Lich regained their 8th level spell. And the Lich was about to die, dude. This was like, he was about to be grappled. The anti-magic field was closing in. They almost had him. And he only has 26 hit points anyways. But he cast Dominate Person on this druid who he knew to be a druid and thus knew to have high wisdom. And Hallstatt failed the save. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Race Sage. And where the fuck was I? Oh, yes. That this player is like arguing and complaining, and now it's like they just took a huge dump in the Zoom. You know what I mean? Like, the vibe is way off. Everybody's like, I mean, the rest of the table's like, and I'm like, and it was so funny because, okay, so here is, these are 10-foot squares. Over here is Hallstatt. the druid. Right here is the anti-magic field. So neither of these persons can have, a spell cast on them. The range for a lot of these druid spells was, sometimes 120 feet, but a lot of times it was 90, which this person is outside. Meaning that I had to have Halstead cast a spell. And I went through their spells, so I was like, what would do the most damage? Okay, heat metal. And of course, the only person available to receive a heat metal spell attack was the fighter. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. It's just so good. You can be playing basketball in Pelican Bay. That was me. I was definitely Denzel at the end of training day, bro. I was losing it. I was losing it.
When I get finished with you, I'm the man up in this piece.
I'm the man up in this piece. My ego was definitely touched on Tuesday, where I was like, dude, how are we going this far? But of course the way it plays out is that like, bitch, settles, it goes up. The door's not open, yes? The birthday boy's kind of losing it. Hey! God, I normally keep little treats right here. Marley! Can we heal? Here comes this good boy. Here comes this good boy right here. There's the birthday boy. I love you, sweet Pope. I don't have any treats for you right now, but I will pay you for your kindness and your good return in a little bit. Soon we're going to go to the park and have some rips. Oh, what a sweet Pope. Okay, good job. Good job. I love this little boy. It's your birthday, Marley. Sweet little Paul. Okay. Settle. Good boy. He is the sweetest dog. Everyone says happy birthday, Mar. He says, woo. So it was just funny. At the end of it, I literally had to be like, okay. And I was like so pissed. I'm like, Halstead, yeah, I need you to cast your highest level spell slot and whatever does the most damage on Glorus. And I was like, Glorus, this is not punitive. Like this is going to happen anyways. And you're the only one that's within range and doesn't have a fucking anti-magic field up. And dude, God bless the guy that plays the druid. He's been on the stream before. His name's Jesse. Very sweet dude. But he was like, I think Grasping Vine is like my best spell. And I had to pull up his sheet and kind of like angrily go through it. I'm like, no, Jesse, heat metal is obviously the choice. Like I texted him later. I was like, dude, I was so frustrated with Brian, and I'm so sorry that I was like short in that moment. But anyway, the spell ended with like Brian, with Glorus losing their cool, and then me, not out of spite, but out of necessity, blasting him with a heat metal spell. Have fun with that, buddy. It felt so passive-aggressive. Yeah. Oh, Lord. I got to put that in. That's funny. Nope. Whoops. I still have the right one captured, yes? Okay, cool. Oh, no. Golly. Sometimes because of the PC stuff, I'm like, God damn it. Yo, what is going on, guys? Wait a minute. What's going on? What the fuck? I can't edit this Google Doc, but I can type elsewhere. That was very strange. Okay, whatever. I'm going to put that in. Because that's hilarious, Sage. That's very, very funny. Of course, there was some people losing their cool, perhaps because they were hit with a with a heat metal spell. Who can say? Okay, great. Preamble 153. Or was that simply a heat metal spell? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah, Matt Pro, believe it. Exactly, Amon, exactly. And I love how they're just going to be mad at me for that, too. I'm like, you guys almost had this Lich. He rolled an 8 to regain his spell. I don't know. Okay, so let's think about it. I think that the Lich probably will use... Yeah, I just rolled a 7 on the D8. Golly, keeps regaining these spell slots. That's insane. Okay, whatever. So after that, it'll be Bilbin. I'll roll for a death save. After that, it'll be Trent. Now, Trent is basically a level 20 monk with some additional bells and whistles. He used his Way of the Shadow ability to basically step into the shadows over here and re-emerge in darkness or near shadow elsewhere. The party did not think to look for him at all, so they've kind of just treated like he's not there, but he's about to walk out of this thing and take his first attack with advantage. This is really kind of killing me how this is just not working. Cool. So I think what he will do is step out and attempt to attack This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, for sure. That might happen, Amon, for sure. No, the Lich... The thing with the Lich is, like, once he gets... I think we're going to have to begin here with Vex. Vexel. Stefan turn. Action. Trent will begin stepping out of shadow. Okay, so bear with me because I think this is cool as fuck. So he might... The Lich is extremely damaged, balls. The Lich is at 26 hit points. Now, the Lich does have a phylactery, of course. It's kind of hidden within the previous chamber. They did not find it. They did not even go into the room that contains it. The Lich is about to get this dark diamond from Vexel that is very much a means of escape. Of escaping this chamber where it's been trapped, of escaping the doldrums of this life that has been dominating this Lichdom for a millennia. So, the Lich, and I did this because I thought it was cool and I wanted to make it, you know, more engaging. I think the party might, you know. But as a bonus action, the Lich could basically step through these portals of blood. And he could do it all throughout the chamber. So there's multiple times where he was moving and grooving. He stepped back over here and teleported outside the line of sight of a lot of these guys. And I was going to style it like he basically hid the diamond within the roots of this tree. I rolled a sleight of hand and rolled like a 12, so if anybody goes looking for it, they'll probably find it. But in my mind, the Lich is like, all right, cool. You guys are dying. You're in the chamber of the Mistress of Blood. And even if I fall, within a week or 10 days, whatever it is, I will reappear in my phylactery. And that diamond will be hidden in this tree. So for him, it feels to me like he is not comprehensively opposed to getting driven down to 0 hit points, if that makes sense. Yes. Oh, dude, for sure. The Lich is in... Exactly, Sage, exactly. Oh, exactly. Whenever I say... Because the diamond will allow this Lich to finally leave the Darkhearth and leave this chamber. And whenever I say that he has not wanted anything more in 1,000 years than to feeble-mind Calder the Cleric, I mean that. I mean that. The Cleric came in and counterspelled him, and then put up an anti-magic field. Like, this ain't no regular Cleric. He's coming for that ass. Yes, exactly. Exactly, I'm on. That's exactly what it is. So, I wanted to begin it, we'll begin with the recap, of course. We'll begin with describing Glorus and Halstead and that heat metal. The combat will actually pick up with Vex walking towards the Lich, Stefan turn, and then it will be Smoke and Valner's turn. Although Smoke, the Beast Companion, was disintegrated. Let's read the rules on this. What happens whenever a Beast Companion is disintegrated? I think nothing, because you bring back this spirit, but... Cool. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Sometimes these like random D&D articles are so poorly designed. It's like, what is going on? Like, who did this? Beast Companion's death might is a hint? Oh, dude, I'm on. Exactly. I think that's terrifying. And, like, is scrying on them and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, okay. This is ridiculous. Let's just look at this. Yeah. Okay, Beastmaster. Yeah, I know they are. Word salad AI, exactly. Oh, got you, Sage. Okay, cool. Thank you for explaining that. So, I'm just trying to find, like, the actual breakdown. I could just... Obviously, I could just pull out my player's handbook, but... Okay. Let's just look at the actual core rulebook. What you guys got for me here? If the beast dies... Okay. Okay, got it. Great. Honestly, this Tasha's Beast of the Land stuff is great. It's really, really good. This is awesome. Okay, so... Yeah, so I guess it doesn't need anything to have the spirit called back. But here's what I was going to offer. I need to put this beneath the post-combat here. And I think the second phase will be up here. Yeah. Oh! Great. You know, I like to just do some bookkeeping. Okay, but I like the idea of offering the ranger the ability to bond the young dragon Vatarist. He won't have a breath weapon yet. It will be more or less a punched up version of the Beast of the Sky. But thematically it's cool as hell. And I think he'll go nuts for it. Oh, that's what I was coming down here to write. But I think that will be very cool. Vatarist. Offer up her spirit. Cool. Love that. Gotta have this. Cool. Lich sends up minions for his contribution to the Hero of the Week. Drake Warden. Ooh. Is Drake Warden specifically like a dragon beastmaster? Lich with a sort of parasitic relationship to the player party and slowly builds them up for his entertainment. Sage, I love that. I will 100% scope that out. Okay, so potential Drake Warden. Great. Maybe I'll like give him a bonus or two because I feel like rangers are so underpowered. Okay, so whatever. We'll touch on Glorious and Halstead. Vexel will walk over to the Lich, give him the diamond. Smoke has been disintegrated. Valnir will find that out in a moment whenever I text him. Then Valnir will take his turn. We'll then be at the top of the round. The Lich will still be somewhat hidden and we'll try to regain a spell slot. Then it will be Trent's turn. Yeah. His whole body growing rigid. You already have my power. It is enough. Because I wanted, this was something I was going to do anyways, but I wanted it to show like, you know, Trent could summon a fucking pit fiend. But as he pulls out the list of true names and begins to try to do that, I think this goddess will stop him. Oh my god, Sage, amazing. Thank you for that, buddy. Let's see what Sage was last up to a year ago, shall we? Shout out. Let's see what the Sage was doing precisely 14 and a half months ago.
And she would kneel down and with kind of like the final remnants of the dust, she would crush it within her palms and you would see...
That's a beautiful fucking moment, man. Exactly. That felt really nice. That moment felt really nice. Isn't it wild when you roll in on a table with nothing and you're like, ooh, that was a moment. And a lovely accent as well. Okay, so he'll pull out the thing and it won't work, and then he will, you know, start entering his second phase. Whew. Tears the robe from his torso, then begins tearing. He drives his hands into his eyes and screams before tearing both eyeballs out with a sickening snap. He screams, the sinew and blood and bone bleeds like an infinity pool. I mean, I don't want to say an infinity pool. Bleeds like an ebbing spring. The blood flowing from the empty sockets of his face. like gaping graves. Yeah, boy. This is a goddess of death, boy. Okay. Very well. Very well. Very well. I shall choose who is anointed. Is anointed. Who takes the mantle in your name? And he's gonna go fucking ham bone. Zella 5812, damn girl. Coming through looking cute. Like a chocolate fountain. The eyeballs are strawberries and the blood is the fountain. Guys, everybody give a shout out to Zella 5812. Appreciate you coming through, baby girl. Okay. So that's basically going to be it. Trent is going to do the thing. He's going to try to summon the demon. He'll be stopped. We'll see him enter his second phase. And then above table, I'm going to be like, he is entering his second phase. Okay. Where's the second phase? Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not going to heal him. I'm going to have him use the fuck. The Rune of the Reaper to regain HP. Cool. He made the most delicious phylactery around. Okay, I have to remember to use this. Again. Great. Okay. So Trent will do his thing. I think he'll have some more to say. Let me just see which one I should pull. Okay, great. This is awesome. I really fucking love this shit. This was really, honestly, like, the beginning of this session was so good. Like, everything hit so hard. The lich drinking blood, this goddess appearing and asking, like, who quickens? I feel my champion. Step forward. Reveal yourself. And Trent's like, I am here. But I step forward as your champion for the last time. I wish to pass your mantle to another. Okay, great work, everybody. Great work. Great work. Great. Okay, so after that, it's the fucking lich, y'all. After that, it's the lich. So let's do a quick status report real quick. And let's put on some, like, uplifting music again. I love this track. We'll just run it back. Yo, run that shit back. Alright? Yo, run that shit back. So, who haven't I talked about? The Lich is at 26 hit points. Jesus, I'm like so pissed at where this is right now. Trent is at 41 hit points. This is going to be the spiciest combat we've ever had. Mark my words right now. If they thought last session was tense, this next session will be a vice compared to that. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Trent is at 41 hit points. Vexel is at like 20 hit points, but basically the next attack is going to take him down regardless because of all the complaints. Glorus is probably below 30. Halstead is, I think, at like a high number. I think he's like high 90s or like 100 even, but he is dominated right now. Let me just go in here. Concentration, dominated. Slight is probably at like between 60 and 70 hit points. Calder probably around like 80. Bilbin, death saves. Smoke, disintegrated. Sweet Pea, death saves and about to die. And honestly, like, I'm about to finger a death her ass. Should I? Should I not? Fuck, I forgot something. Okay. And then Valner probably is at like 80. I just am stunned by how poorly I can, like... I mean, it's just crazy. Whatever. Yeah, exactly, Mapro. Like, I mean, that's one of the things I'm going to ask him at the start of the sesh is be like, would you want it any other way? Would you want it any other fucking way? Have you guys ever had a finale or a big fight that was just a cakewalk? That shit sucks. Or that feeling of like something coming up and it's actually like a pretty legitimate issue and it should require some pushback, but your DM just hand waves it. Nothing takes me out of a campaign faster or deeper than that. I'm like, oh, so it doesn't matter. Oh shit, I thought it mattered. Okay. Okay. This is so close. Right. So, like, the point is, you know, a lot of these people, you know, Calder, Slight, Halstead, and Vexel, I believe all of them have at least 60 hit points. Glorus is low. Sweet Pea is down. Bilbin is down. But this Lich has 26 hit points. And although Trent will be regaining more hit points when he attacks next, you know, he's only at 41 hit points. So, you know, a lot of potential there to mess him up. But what will Stefan Turn do on his first round of combat? So he has a 9th, a 7th, a 5th, a 4th, a 3rd, and a 2nd. The only cakewalks allowed are high rolling bones. Yep, that's exactly what I mean. And on this one, this Lich has regained a 6th, a 7th, and an 8th level spell slot. That is tough titties. I don't know, man. Like, I don't believe in fudging dice rolls or like adjusting on the fly. I really don't. There are some exceptions. There was one time I reduced the damage output on a spell, and there was one time that I kind of sort of reduced the hit points on somebody because the combat was wrapping up and I didn't want it to like needlessly continue. You know what I mean? Narratively, it was ready for the fight to finish. But other than that, I let the bones do the talking. So this Lich, I'm just torn, dude. I'm torn. The Lich wants to save his 9th level for this stupid cleric so bad. Got you, Marco. Yeah, that's wisdom. I mean, like, that's our job, right? Is to, like, facilitate and be the showrunner of the story. Let's pull up the fucking Lich stat block, damn it. Plane shift, huh? Power word stun is kind of ridiculous to me. Okay. Oh, so power word stun continues until they save from it. Cool. Yes, dude. 100% Mapro, right? Like, these Liches have egos too. Like, they did not expect anyone to come in and throw up a fucking invulnerability sphere. You know? So here's the other thing. The apparitions materialize and attack one creature that the Lich can see within 60 feet of it. I wonder if... Damn, he should have cast Mirror Image. Shit, why did not... What? Now, interesting. Animate Dead is one he has. Ha 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 ha! Casting time 1 minute. Got it. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm curious what it would do here. I feel like it might Finger of Death the fucking Paladin. He could just as easily Finger of Death Bilbin. God, it wants to fuck these guys up so bad. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. It could kill the fighter, which might be the round here. This is going to be the craziest combat ever. Okay, let's decide on the Lich, and then we'll call it there. I'm now kind of doubting whether or not the Lich would roll as a layer action a D8, or if he would use a layer action to attack Valnir. I think he might use the layer action to attack Valnir because Valnir has taken so little damage. I'm not sure what's going to happen. We'll figure that out on the day. Where are we? Basically the below. Yes, blah, blah, blah. We don't need that. Unless he does something else. Decide beforehand. I'm just going to put this in. Now, anybody doubting whether or not I put some thought into this prep? Like, how many times have we gone back or forth on this? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm sort of like, would he not... It makes sense that he would want to cut the damage he receives in half. And it makes sense that he would want to damage someone that hasn't been damaged. He already has... He has a 9th level and 2 5th levels and 2 4th levels. But if we didn't reroll, he would not have a 6th, a 7th, or an 8th level spell slot. There's a little bit of me also mechanically that's like, I know how lucky it is for this Lich to be rolling 7, 8, 6, 7. You know what I mean? So maybe I should go with one of the other two. I'll have to think about that. But on its turn, the Lich needs to fuck up this guy or kill Glorious, one of the two. Now, I'm considering like a 5th level magic missile. That's awesome. The best move isn't always the most strategically sound one. It's the move you... Yes, dude. Marco, that's so well put. And that's actually like a really interesting kind of game theory approach. It applies for me in Super Smash Bros. Because you will sometimes be in matchups or find yourself in game flow patterns where you are kind of habitually put in a position where sometimes the optimal choice is actually not the optimal. It becomes suboptimal because it is more predictable and bankable to your opponent. And thus, despite the kind of back and forth of it, sometimes using a suboptimal tactic is actually the smartest thing you could ever do because it's unexpected by your opponent. You know what I'm saying? Dark Nightmare. Greetings, my liege. Come ye closer into the shadow. We are doing well over here, man. I think we have saved the campaign. Nightmare, you're in the right spot. I'm Carpet the DM. I'm an actor, voiceover artist, and professional DM in LA. And we are wrapping up, I mean, an enormous combat. This will be the third session that we're doing it. And the last session, tensions ran high. It got very blown out of the water. But now, you know, one of the party members is Finger of Death. One of the party members has failed 2 death saves. The DM NPC is dead and dying. Everyone is on the ropes. It's fucking nuts. Philosophically, it's a sound decision. Exactly. However, in practice, I'd absolutely base all those moves off the wisdom intelligence scores of the creatures, totally. But with a lich, like super intelligent, obviously, but like they design their layer and they move through their layer, like with different contingency plans throughout. This lich knows that it can teleport through this fucking blood. So it's not going to give itself like a way to attack, if possible. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm actually taking a small break from work on my own homebrew campaign. God bless you. Do you stream, Nightmare? That's badass, dude. I love that. Are you a forever DM or what's the deal? We have a ton of incredible DMs in the chat right here. So, you know, you do okay. Just dropped you a follow, man. Appreciate you coming through. I love watching prep. Because every DM's going to do it differently, you know what I mean? And as, you know, the half dozen or so incredible DMs that are in the chat right now. Yeah. Fuzka, Sage, Mapro, Evie. Who am I forgetting? Whatever. You guys are all incredible. You played a ton of D&D. So, Nightmare, if you have any questions, like you want to bounce some ideas off of, go for it. Not saying you need to. You know what I mean? Mainly because my setting has so many decades working on it. Well, Mapro, you will drop in these map references that are so beautiful. And I think, as we all know, whenever you have a map, especially one that's homebrewed, there's kind of a desire to investigate every little nook and cranny, or at least for me, there's that. Okay. So this is the last thing we need to figure out is what fucking spell. I think with everyone, like, making death saves, like, I don't think they would waste a spell economy on something like that. They would give anything to attack these two, but they cannot. I'm curious about putting a fireball right here. Like, right in the middle. What if they upcast a fireball? Another great option, this might be a better option than that even. Ahooga! Yo, Nightmare. Shout out to a real one. Shout out to a real one. I'm going to check that chat in just 1 second. But I'm thinking now that the actual move might be Cloud Kill. Because one action, 120 feet. 10 minutes, 20-foot radius. Yep. 5. Yeah, great. Great. So the reason I think it might be a good move is because it obscures visibility. And I think the move would be to basically cast it like roughly here. 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. I think the zombie is immune to it. I think it affects the guy making death saves. He knows it won't affect the magic guys, but they can't see. And it will affect these two guys, one of which is Glorious. He's trying to fight. Now the other option is some version of doing it here. 10, 20, 30, 40. Now can I move it over here? Oh, What the hell was that? Oh, that was fog. My bad. Okay. 10, 20, 30. I'm going to get to that chat in just 2 seconds, guys. I just want to check this. I think this is the best move. Because the Lich is on the other side of this, they do not have a clear line of sight. If you can see this guy right here. So I'm going to start the session with him actually not visible because he's not immediately visible. I'm making my game completely from scratch. Respect. All based on my favorite horror podcast. Cool. It's all based around a pantheon that is gaining power from feeding off of fears. Wow. So the pantheon is the main antagonist, huh? That's fucking rad. I love it, man. And Mapro, you're so right. That feeling whenever a campaign is going well or there's been a really good couple sessions and then you take a well-deserved break, lovely, right? It's definitely a lot of work on my end, especially how much I've actually gotten done and how much I still have to do. Dude, amen. This is a campaign that's 4.5 years long, and it began as Dragon of Icespire Peak, but for the past 3.5 years it's been Homebrew. A lot of work, a lot of love, and as you know, or you tell me your experience, Dark Knight, like the longer a Homebrew campaign runs, the more satisfying the payoff, but the harder it is to weave those threads, to keep it fresh and meaningful. And, you know, it obviously is like can be done and is great to do, but when you're just starting, you can do anything, say anything, make anyone, you know, and now the longer a campaign goes, the more that consistency and callback needs to come into play. Okay, I think Cloud Kill is the answer. It causes damage, and it creates a line of sight issue for people. So that's what we're going to do. There's 15 deities in the Pantheon, and all of them have their names and fear specialties. I love it. So is one like envy, anxiety, fear of success? You know what I mean? Are they different types of fear? Top-down approaches are fun, and the design aspect when it comes to deifying everything is juicy. I like that. Yeah, kind of one of the backgrounds of my campaign is that there is a war between the old and the new Pantheon, and that there has been for some time. And I love that, man. Like the antagonists in my game are more this divination wizard and this way of the shadow monk. And the wizard's been taken out, but they're in the fight, a battle for their life right now with the monk. Whew. They do represent certain fears. Okay, I love it. I love that. Let's roll a d20, see what we get. Using my Blood Omen dice. Here we go. I'm expecting a 12. I knew I would roll higher than a 15 because this dice is hot. I rolled a 17. So we'll treat that as a 7. What's number 7? Lucky number 11. Oh, shoot. I didn't see that. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, whatever. I'll check that out. Guys, this has been incredible. I'm going to wait to hear what Nightmare said, but this was super helpful to me. To everybody that came through during this week on the Discord, thank you so much. Like, for real. Thank you so much. You guys were so sweet. You didn't hold anything back. You know, you gave me your feedback. You were also really supportive, you know, and like, I love that. I mean, as we all know as DMs, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be in. It's really satisfying. But sometimes it can be a lonely, lonely place, especially when members of the party are like beefing or disappointed or whatever. So that meant a lot to me from a community aspect, to be able to rap with you guys and chat about it and feel like I got some great feedback. And you also just helped me from a, you know, a heart standpoint. I love that. Yeah, Mapro. I've been, you know, saving my Zoom streams, and I'm so glad that I have. Exactly. Okay, so the 7th deity is the Eye, bro. Already into this. I'm going to read it sort of like Joris. The Eye thrives on hidden knowledge and feeds on the fear of being watched. manifesting in places where arcane symbols and scrying mirrors abound. Its presence serves as a chilling reminder of its insatiable curiosity in its ability to manipulate those who fall under its watchful gaze. I love that. Manifesting in places where arcane symbols and scrying mirrors abound. That's dope. I speak for everybody on this whenever I say that's dope. Foos, Mapro, I love you. Dark Nightmare. Digital handshake, my dude. Apologies if I'm misgendering you as well. Dude is kind of genderless in my world, you know what I mean? But nonetheless. The fear of being stalked, watched, secrets being revealed in the truth. Dude, that's amazing. I feel like someone having the eye on them would begin to be incredibly self-conscious about secrets of theirs, about maybe faults that they're wanting to keep hidden. And I wonder how that would manifest itself. That really does invoke some incredibly imagery. I also love Arcane Eye as a spell. I know that's not what this is, but in my mind, it's almost like an omniscient, intelligent arcane eye that acts both as a memory bank of secrets and also an access point. I'm sure I'm wrong, but like that's the image, connoted in my head. Whew. Foos, Mapro, Nightmare, Balls Too Wild. I missed you, dude. Root, Marco. Bugles up for Marco, dude. Thank you so much for coming through. It's been forever. Red Sage, my guy. Amon, as always. Who am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting someone here. Damn it. Did I say Root? Well, I love it, Root. Appreciate you offering to assemble it. That's incredible. I think that's everybody. If I forgot anybody, please forgive me. You guys are the absolute best. I like to end my D&D streams by rating somebody else that is streaming D&D. Sometimes that can be prep. Ideally, it's prep. It's not always. Maybe we'll come across Dark Nightmare one of these days. Okay, so a couple actual plays. Several things that are not in English, which is no big deal. Sweet. I think this is our guy. Oh, bless this guy. New rules. Going over the 2024 D&D Player's Handbook. The Vocal Butcher. I think this guy would be fun. Just see if there's anybody else that's like truly doing prep. The Mask of Majora, Episode 5? Mm-hmm. Damn, that looks fun as hell. You know what? Playtime. Sorry, I just ran down a bullet, just an absolute rabbit hole looking at some of these things. Wow. Okay, cool. So let's do this dude that's prepping. Let's raid the Vocal Butcher, guys. I think it's time. His source is 900p, which is like incredibly confusing to me. Whatever. Guys, I love y'all. Truly, I adore you. Bottom of my heart. You can. Right here. Yes, dude. Get in the Discord, man. I would love that. There's something called D&D Resources. I would love for you to drop that in there. Marshmallow, you bastard. You bastard. Oh, you did already join the Discord. Love that, dude. Right here, Marshmallow. Come on, baby. The Cajun in me loves a good French bisou. That's what I do when I stream, looking for someone who's either prepping or working. Let's go. Respect already, Nightmare. I love that. No, dude. All good, Marshmallow. Marshmallow, hey, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming through during the week and for just being so sweet. Like, I appreciated so much getting y'all's feedback. Oh, shoot. Getting y'all's feedback, like, being able to kind of, you know, like, bitch and moan, basically. Ay. I lost the guy I was about to stream. Hold up. So that meant the world to me, man. Like, appreciate so much you guys giving me that and, like, you know, supporting me with that. That meant a ton. Okay, I am mildly losing my mind. Let me just go ahead and pull this up. We're going to raid this boy by hook or by crook. No. Here we go. Vocal Butcher. Here I go. Start raid. Okay, guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I will be back next Monday. I might stream this Friday if I can. I'm not going to say so, though, because I probably won't be able to. 100% will be back this Monday, like upcoming, to do the last bit of prep before the Tuesday session. And it is going to be a spicy meatball. But as always, man, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. And I love you and I mean it. Say what up to the Vocal Butcher for me. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. We gone.